Hey and welcome back to the Pokemon Y playthrough. It's been a little while and a lot of stuff's been going on, so I feel like this part, given we're going to have like a bit of Team Flare faffing around and that, we should probably talk about more interesting things. And most topical thing for now, I think really, is a certain film that you two have seen that I have not. So Chris, impressions of Detective Pikachu?
I don't know. Stephen, you want to give your impressions first?
I think overall it's decent. It's like when you look at it from the point of view of a Pokemon fan, it's like it's really good with all the references it makes. And it's like the attention to detail is staggering throughout it. It is just wonderful to see all of these little bits and pieces that come together to almost perfectly create the Pokemon world in a live action setting. It's like it was just a joy to watch for mostly those reasons. The plot, on the other hand, is very simple.
Yeah, it's just
it is very bare bones, and it's like because it is essentially a detective film, and it's like it tries to put a comedic spin on the whole noir feeling and that, but it's like because it's a children's film, it's like it feels like they didn't put a lot of effort into the story.
Yeah, I mean, you're more watching it because there's that Pokemon, and
exactly.
Like Ryan Reynolds is sort of carrying it as Pikachu.
Yeah,
is the main thing.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds really does carry the film. It's like all the reviews have said it. All the reviews have pretty much had the same opinions. It's like, really, they're all right. It is really just an okay film. It's like there's nothing necessarily bad or horrific about it, but it's just kind of very safe.
So like a fan service film more than...
It's very fan service, because the film does very much act as though you know about Pokemon.
Which I did see a few reviews that were kind of critical of that, but my interpretation of that is, if you're not a Pokemon fan, why would you go watch a Pokemon film? But it kind of does seem like
for it to be more pandering towards fans and stuff.
Well,
not you know. Yeah.
Like it's just like it doesn't seem like the sort of thing that necessarily advertises itself as an entry point. It looks like all the promotion I've seen, like the trailers and that, it looks very much like this is a little love letter to Pokemon fans. Like they're kind of doing what Pokemon fans have been asking for years, of like something like a Pokemon story that's not just following Ash around. It's something a little bit more developed. You know, it's got a little bit more to it, which I'm more than likely gonna just wait for the Blu-ray to come out, because that tends to be how I watch films these days. I like to watch stuff at home in front of my computer like a lonely man child. But you know, like I am looking forward to watching it when I do, and you know, like it seems like the sort of thing that has had love put into it in the right places from everything I've seen and heard about it.
Absolutely. And it's like, if you're wondering why the Pokemon actually look fantastic, Ken Sugimori actually assisted with the design process.
It does seem like one of the things that people were worried about beforehand as to how the Pokemon would look, and then the trailers did sort of numb that a little bit. Like they actually like, okay, does it hold up emotion for the whole film?
It does most of the time. It's like, I'd say about 90% of the CGI is amazing. It's like the designs of the Pokemon are just fantastically done. It's like they're so perfectly translated into the live action setting, and I love the fact that I'm pretty sure they did create props from which to base the CGI off of to make them alive.
I did see an article about the Lickitung's tongue and how that was made. The fact that there was this like they made a physical tongue and then had like this layer of latex stuff with some false saliva over it. And apparently that was like the most risque scene that they had to kind of get permission from the Pokemon Company for. That was the scene that the Pokemon Company were a bit on edge about allowing.
About risque.
Well, in terms of like that kind of thing, in the fact that it's pushing the limits of what people might be comfortable with, and a little bit uncanny valley sort of thing.
Fair enough. But to be fair, it's Lickitung.
Yeah, Lickitung is gonna be fucking terrifying no matter how you portray it in the real world.
Like, even though it is terrifying, I wasn't terrified of it because I'm just like, this is just a creature in my eyes.
You know what Lickitung is, you know what to expect when you see him show up.
It's like, even Mr. Mime, as creepy as he is, I absolutely...
He was one of the best.
I adored its design, and it was perfectly used in the film. It's scene that you see in the trailers. It goes on longer, and it is brilliant in my eyes.
The other funny thing I heard about that was apparently the film directors and that had asked the Pokemon Company and Game Freak what Mr. Mime is meant to be so they could characterise him properly, and their response was they don't know.
Yeah. They had no clue. And honestly, I can't blame them. Yeah.
I mean, what Mr. Mime is, he's a perfect stepfather for Ash, okay? That's what you need to know.
It's like the DeviantArt artist that they got on board to help with the designs. In his work, he did an interpretation of Mr. Mime, and it sort of has a frog-like appearance to it.
Right.
And it's really fitting. And it's like, I would have liked to have seen that sort of aesthetic on it. I think that would have been really interesting to see. But the overall final package is pretty much flawless. Although my only complaint about Mr. Mime, I find that the things that sprout from his head should have been hair.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that could have gone either way. I suppose the whole idea of, because they're like that bluey purpley colour, that might have looked a little bit odd as hair, but I suppose if it was more like an animal's fur or something, maybe it'd work out a little bit better.
It's just the fact of like, the aesthetic of Mr. Mime comes off as a clown, so I felt it would have been quite fitting.
Yeah, maybe. Give him a fucking clown nose while he's at it. Why not?
But yeah, it's like, the Mr. Mime was easily the most intelligent Pokemon in the film, besides Pikachu. It is just it's like it's simultaneously intelligent while also being an idiot.
No. I will say, out of everything I've seen, Pikachu himself looks fantastic.
Oh, he was the best, I would say, out of all of them.
Like, Pikachu's look, that was another thing that when the first trailers were coming out, and it was like a bit of a culture shock for a lot of people, the fact that Pikachu's fluffy, and when we're so used to him having just that that smooth body kind of look in main games and that. But no, it really does work well for him.
Yeah. It's like the moment I saw it, I thought, I want one.
they both look fluffy and adorable, Pikachu and Psyduck.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Psyduck. When it's like, because in the trailers it's staring off into the distance and it looks a bit eerie. But the moment you see it in action in the film,
it works.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's actually cute, and even its cries and saying Psyduck and that, it's like, and its attitude when with Pikachu is brilliant, because Pikachu acknowledges the fact that Psyducks are like ticking time bombs.
Well, because they get a headache and blow.
Yeah, he's like, when he first sees it, he's like, why does this girl have a Psyduck? Do you not know that these things are ticking time bombs unless you keep them calm? It's okay. Just be calm. I'm being nice.
Right.
I think the Sonic trailer as well also got us probably more used to the CGI of Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like,
that's got to have done wonders just by the power of relativity alone, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that actually, because I know this is a Pokemon LP, but we're going to have to talk about it eventually. Yeah. So, the Sonic film trailer. What's big, like, if we're going over the timeline so far of the Sonic film, there were mutterings for a while that there was going to be a Sonic film. Originally, it was going to be handled by Sony Pictures. And we heard about that, like, just in little mutterings and that for a while, and it was just something that was sort of going on, and then all mention of it disappeared for quite a while until we heard that it had been handed over instead to Paramount, and now Paramount are handling it. And again, it goes quiet for a little while, and the teasers come out, and we see the most monstrous, like, I haven't even got a word for it, just the most disastrous looking design for Sonic. Originally just as a silhouette, then we saw like a few other promo pictures coming out, and then we saw the fucking trailer.
I think monstrophic was quite a fitting term, a combination of monstrosity and horrific.
That was kind of what I was going for, like halfway through, and got fucked. But yeah, like it just seems like such an inherently flawed idea, and like that fucking trailer, like Jesus Christ, that is the most by the numbers kind of, yes, this has been designed by committee and now we're just pumping it out because fuck you, well, that's why. That is not at all an appealing character design. Like, even if you like take out the equation everything we know about Sonic, if you just think this is like a new, from the perspective of a new children's film character that's been designed, that it's just not appealing, is it?
It's hideous, because the physique of him it's so difficult to look at, because it essentially looks like a man that has been shrunk down and is wearing a furry suit. And the best comparison I have is to like the mascots at something like Disneyland, where they've got the big head but the human body.
Well, I'd say more like the ones that run out during sports games and that have a much lower budget costume. Because like the Disney ones, for all I can say about Disney, they have quality control when it comes to their mascots. Yeah. In fact, they actually have all kinds of different rules they have to follow to make it really accurate. Like, they have rules about, you know, the different actors playing the same characters have to stay so many, like, so much distance away from each other, just so that the kids don't clock on that there's multiple actors playing them. And they always have to be in character. They're not allowed to be seen in their costume going out for like smoke breaks or anything. And like, you know, so Disney have standards for that kind of thing. This Sonic character, oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, and when I heard about a behind the scenes trailer, which was obviously the one we saw just being shown earlier, Gangster's Paradise. Why? Sonic is living the thug life.
It's so difficult to think about. It's like, and not only that, it's like the first scene in the trailer that shows you Sonic, he's flexing and stretching as if they're so proud of the body that they have created.
Yeah. Like, I'm not sure exactly how they've gone about animating that, whether it was like manga animation or I hope it was mocap. That would be the funniest fucking shit if that was mocap.
I reckon it probably could be because of the physique.
Possibly, yeah, because like Sonic is no stranger to mocap. This might seem strange, hard to believe, but Sonic games have used motion capture before. Sonic Adventure 2 used motion capture. That's why a lot of the animation looks so jank. Because you see like Sonic walking around and like some of the parts where like he's clipping through himself and shit. That was a man. That was a man in a suit. You know, like I think parts of 06. Well, I'm not entirely sure about that, but like the proportions of 06 would lend itself to that. And like the newer games are manual animation, which works so much better for Sonic, but like still, it has that kind of bit of history behind it.
What do you make of the fact that they're going to fix the design now?
Why even fucking bother?
It really is like, I echo that, because regardless of the design, the plot is clearly going to be awful, because the best comparison I can find for the plot that I can think of is the Smurfs films.
I've never watched them.
I haven't watched them, but I know exactly how they go because the Smurfs end up in the real world.
Oh, lovely.
So it's exactly the same process. You bring the cartoon characters through a portal from their world, and they magically end up in New York.
So, do the Smurfs go, meow, and then get shot with a tranquilizer?
No, but they at least look like the Smurfs.
Actually,
that's the main thing. It's like the only positive you can draw from those films is the fact that they don't compromise the designs of the characters.
I just had a thought though. Given the tranquilizer thing worked, why didn't Gunn ever do that in SA2 when they were chasing after Sonic? If that's a way that you can actually get hold of him, like if you're able to catch him by surprise and just, put him out.
So I find it confusing that the tranquilizer dart hits him because he wasn't ready for it. But then later on you see Eggman fire like 50 missiles, something like that, and time freezes! And he's like, oh, this is nice.
How does that even work? Because Sonic got like Zawoldo powers now or some shit.
Apparently. It's like, at that point, how do you stop him?
Yeah, basically.
He has the speed force now, apparently.
Yeah. So there is like the argument that maybe like he knows Eggman is bad and gonna attack him, but like I will say actually, credit where due, Jim Carrey as Eggman seems great.
Oh god.
Yeah. Like he seems like it looks like he's gonna be the main draw of the film.
Yeah, definitely carrying the film.
It's like it's weird that they act. It's like you go through the entire trailer, all of them look awful. Jim Carrey doesn't look like Eggman, but then they do that little bit at the end where suddenly he looks exactly like Eggman.
Yeah, he looks great as him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say great, but it's like you look at it and go, that's Eggman.
Yeah, like it looks more like Eggman than say like his Golden Nipple 06 design. That's like, so it's got a step over there, but like, I kind of get what they're going for if he's going to descend into madness and become more Eggman-ish over time, which makes sense if they're going for that kind of direction, but still, like Eggman's Jim Carrey performance is spot on.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. It's Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey.
It really is just Jim Carrey. I wouldn't say he's spot on as Eggman. Definitely not. It's like when the way he was acting, it didn't come to mind. Yeah, that's Eggman. That's how I'd imagine him to act.
It's how I would imagine Jim Carrey to act as Eggman.
Yeah,
that's kind of the best way to put it, I think.
It's still going to be the best thing about the movie.
Well, yeah. That kind of goes without saying at this point.
It's like, I like the fact that the original designer of Sonic responded to the backlash and said, thank you to the fans for being irritated by it.
Like the designer weren't too happy. Iizuka has actually put out a statement saying that it's nothing to do with us, the Paraman guys are handling this, which is basically stop getting mad at us. And think about this, Iizuka, like, he's been directing Sonic games for years now. If something doesn't meet his high quality standards,
if you've gone below those standards, something has gone wrong in the development process.
Seriously, like I have noticed this bit of a trend with Sega though, in that they tend to just, whenever they're doing something to try and appeal to, like, say the US and UK kind of crowds that like outside of Japan and that, they tend to just outsource it to someone and then be completely hands off. Because this happened with Boom as well, didn't it? Like they were just like, yeah, go on, we'll design our characters, do whatever, and Boom ended up being Boom. Like, like Rise of Lyric was its own disaster for its own reasons, but like in terms of the character designs and that, they just left them to their own devices. And sometimes that works. Like, they've, like, the cartoon went okay, even if it's not like the next coming Jesus, it does its job fine. But then when the company you outsource to don't know what they're doing, then you get things like the film.
Yeah.
And, maybe they should possibly be a bit more hands-on with that kind of thing, which I know usually does hurt creatives if, like, you got a, like, big money suit, like, looking over your shoulder, but sometimes you do need to have that company protecting the integrity of their IP, don't you think?
Which is definitely what happened with Detective Pikachu, because Nintendo hasn't had a film based on one of their IPs since Mario.
Yeah, like that.
And you can see why.
I like that film. I will say I like the Super Mario Bros. Film. It's entertaining.
It's like, that's the thing. You can say it's entertaining from the fact that it's so bad, but from Nintendo's perspective, it's like, that was awful. We're not letting something like that ever happen again.
Well, I mean, there is like talks of a Mario film being worked on right now
by Illumination Studios.
And they the Minions guys?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, this is perfect.
But the thing is, though, it's like, while yes, the plots are awful, the animation is nice. So it's like, fingers crossed, Nintendo has a grip on that.
What plot could they do with Mario?
No.
Like, okay, we'll adapt the plot from the games. Okay, that feels about 10 minutes. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, he jumps on a few Goombas, Beast Bowser got the princess bag. Great film there, guys. I don't know, like, they would have to get a bit creative, and I'm thinking in terms of like the source materials that we've got, I suppose you could flesh out something like, say, Galaxy, maybe. Like, there's a bit of lore you could work with if they do something to that scale. But, like, I will say, I hope Miyamoto keeps his hands off, because Miyamoto is the one who's very much, I don't need story, like, you know, it does the job. Let's wait, like, Sticker Star ended up the way it did, Paper Mario Sticker Star, which, you know, it's an RPG where Miyamoto didn't want much of a story. That's a good idea there, mate. But, like, that's Miyamoto's thing, is in that Miyamoto is excellent at simplistic games that, you know, entirely gameplay focused on that. There's a reason why Super Mario Bros. Is so popular. There's a reason why the Zelda games are so popular. You know, it does what it needs to do. But when it comes to other kinds of games, his approach doesn't necessarily work quite as well. And, you know, it's kind of just how things work out. And he's at this point where he's a bit too powerful now that people don't question his ideas. So, like, anything goes. But let's actually talk about the video for a minute here, because we've got our stuff out the way that we needed to talk about. This is the scary house, and I love this camera work. This is something that they've done a few times in the 3DS games, where they've got the shaky cam here. They also do it in Omega Ruby, when you fight the Ghost-type Elite Four member for the first time. I forget her name, it's Phoebe, isn't it? I think it's Phoebe, the chick with the dust gloves.
Trying to think.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. But, you know, like, this character is basically just telling scary stories and asking for tips. And if you don't tip him, you might see something scary. Like, you're basically coercing money out of us, mate. That's kind of stupid and shitty.
Yeah, nothing happens either way, so...
Nah. Yeah, what's his face just asking if the story is even true. Like, yeah, you want some healthy skepticism with this kind of thing.
It's like, if you want to theorise anything from it, because, like, the story suggests 5 men staring at you, and some people like to think, what if it's referring to Zygarde and it's things that pop out from the back of it?
I hadn't actually thought of that. Is that, like, a theory with much substance?
Not a lot, nah. It was more a suggestion I'd seen, and I was like,
All I'm thinking of, I can't remember if there's 5 of them though, but did you ever do the, like, bonding mission from the Omega Ruby post game? And there's I think it's either 5 or 6 guys that, like, they run in circles and form together around a stranger to become Mr. Bonding.
I haven't seen that. I know about Mr. Bonding, but I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they tell his origin story in Omega Ruby. It's fucking great. Like,
God.
in Morville Hills, like, there's a little subquest where, like, in this area where Watson lives, like, you come out of his apartment, you go around the corner. There's one apartment that has, like, a guy who just lives on his own and he's kind of miserable and he's, like, depressed and whatnot. And then on the other side of the hall, there's all these guys that, like, they're the ones that give you the O-powers in Omega Ruby up to that point. And then they do, like, this weird ritual thing where they all fuse into one man. It's fucking bizarre. But, you know, that's the origin story of Mr. Bonding.
What?
Yeah, for real. I'm surprised you haven't heard about that one stage.
I had no idea.
It's one of the funniest parts of Pokemon lore.
I had no idea.
I know what I'm showing you later, because that is fucking incredible.
There's a character for Omega Ruby, and I think X and Y. Is he in X and Y?
Whom?
Mr. Bonding.
Yeah, he's in the hotels.
That's where he started.
Yeah, and there's these things in the game called O-powers. Basically, they give you minor enhancements in the game over a period of time. So, like, you can enhance egg hatching, you can enhance stats, increase the amount of XP you get, and such. And there's always a guy that gives it to you called Mr. Bonding. And it's like, what does he say when he gives you the abilities? It's something weird.
The more disturbing
it's
part
like
of that.
bonding time or something.
The lights go black.
Yes, the lights go black.
That's the disturbing part to me. It just lights go black while you're in a hotel room with this creepy looking guy called Mr. Bonding who wants to bond with you. You know, like,
I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah. What I will say here, this is one of the new features from X and Y in the fact that you can dress up your character. And it took me to this point to actually get around to doing it, because if you remember last time we came to one of these shops, I didn't have enough money to actually buy anything. But now I'll just sort of change my clothes up a little bit. I'll be changing that periodically throughout the game from this point on. I think I'll change it up a little bit later on as well. But yeah, you know, it's quite a basic thing. And I will also say, if you give even the slightest bit of a shit about character customization, pick the girl character, because the guy character has nothing.
Yeah, that's like the complaint in every game that has had character customization in it so far. Every time, there's always been complaints about the male character having a lack of diversity in clothing.
Basically, and like, to a certain extent, I do get it. There's more you can do with the girl characters to make it interesting and that. But like, surely you could come up with like some more different colours for their clothes and just like different textures, and maybe you could get them wearing like some fancy plaid shit or something. I don't know, but like, you could do more than they actually do.
I would like them to give you like the option to dress up like Lance or something. Well, it's just a proper outfit.
I want to wear a fucking cape. That'd be sick.
Like.
So I wonder if you can do that in Let's Go.
Not in Let's Go, you can't. You get different outfits that you can wear in Let's Go that you get from different characters. Like, you can dress up as a policeman, you can dress up as like a sailor, and at one point one of Professor Oak's aides gives you like a lab coat and stuff like that, which is all pretty neat. But you know, there's Mr. Bonding.
Yeah.
There's our good friend Mr. Bonding, and he just disappeared.
Yeah. Into the ether.
Yeah, that's not unsettling at all. But we do still have a lot of stuff to catch up on in the next part, because we haven't even scratched the surface of stuff like my impressions on Let's Go or Sword and Shield yet. So, we've got a fun few parts ahead of us, folks. Join us next time, where we'll be going on to Valerie's gym. We'll see you then.